Hello everyone and welcome to Takagi-san First Impressions Episode 9. The title isn't good, but yada yada yada. The first story we have is Achi Mithoi, based on the manga chapter 82. Nishikata's fantasies about winning are getting more and more extreme. He actually thinks tricking her will reduce her to tears. This is another one of those fairly rare moments that gets Nishikata to think about whether or not he might have romantic feelings for Takagi. But as per usual, something comes up to distract him from this. After that we get our B-plot, Talents, which doesn't have anything worth mentioning besides the shot pointed out by Reddit user Maya Pippi is really hard, of Takagi and Nishikata getting to swim together, just like they said they would in pool. After this we get the much awaited Worries, based on chapter 44. This story has been expected to show up in this season due to a reference in the OP, pointed out by Reddit user Rymation YouTube. The one complaint I have with this adaptation is the way they made Takagi look sitting in class. What I loved about the manga chapter is that the only way we as an audience could tell something was wrong was that Nishikata thought so. It told us that he was so well adjusted to recognise her character that he could pick up on alterations that even her own friends couldn't pick up on. Some of the shots in the adaptation though make it a little too obvious, and that kind of robs it of some of its significance. But of course, you can't talk about Worries without commending it for its emotional impact to the story. It's subtle, but when Nishikata finds Takagi at the temple, you can see how genuinely happy she is that he noticed something was off, and how much that kind of insight means to her. For that, again, I do need to commend this story. We then move on to the final story of this episode, Message, based on chapter 76. Nishikata admitting that his plan in Worries wasn't entirely in vain is a pretty important part of his development, and I'll get into this if you would like me to analyse this story. Wink wink nudge nudge. Tying this story in with the last one not only helps add context to this story, but also likely adds weight to a story that I believe they are going to tell in the future. Normally I would leave you guessing, but I'm feeling generous today, so I'll just tell you, I think they are going to adapt chapter 28.5. I think the past 2 episodes have been building up to that moment, and if they are, I cannot wait to see it. Now, believe it or not, I found myself not liking this episode, similarly to how I felt about last episode after my first watch. But after a second watch and I had a chance to gather my thoughts, I've decided that it's actually a pretty strong episode. Stronger than the last episode, but obviously not as good as episode 7. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get another episode as good as episode 7 until the second last or last episode of the season, which is coming up very soon. And if you would like to see my first impressions of those new episodes, make sure you subscribe. If you would like to see previous first impressions videos or my season 1 analysis, you can find links to both on screen now and in the description. If there are any stories from season 2 that you would like to see analysed, let me know in the comments. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.